the end of that story is that I ended up being the youngest person ever graded as a journalist and getting there the fastest, and went on to do talk back and a whole bunch of things in radio that I never dreamt about doing, political reporting, a whole bunch of things. Ended up interviewing every prime minister from Malcolm Fraser all the way through to Rudd, So this was the gift of radio and immediacy and being able to tell a story. You said a wonderful thing a little while ago, and I'm sorry this takes a little bit of time to tell this story, but I always tell this to my kids. The very first story that I wrote for radio, I still remember it almost word for word. So I wrote the par of all pars, and it said, South Australia's Prices and Consumer Affairs Commissioner, Mr. H.R. Baker, has announced today that for the second time in 3 months, cigarettes will rise by, I can't remember how much, from the 14th of February. And Jeff Mendrell, my boss, looked at that and said, well, that's great. That's terrific. You just told me the entire story. That's great. You got it. Those are the details. Who, what, where, why, when, how. Yeah? It's not rocket science. Yes, right. Good for you. But this is radio. Number one, in radio, somebody is almost always doing something else when they're listening. Number two, they get one chance to hear it. Number three, it's not the way we process information. Now, tap me on the shoulder in the front bar and tell me the story. And he turned around. I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, fags are going up again. And he said, yeah. And he says, plenty of time to tell me all of the rest. And he said, oh, and by the way, you can't, yeah, he corrected the tense that I incorrectly used it. And he said, who cares whether H.R. Baker said it, blah, blah, blah. But basically, he said, yeah, cigarettes are going up again. You can tell them all, that's what they want to know. That's what
a lesson.
That's what you tell your neighbour. And I've never forgotten it in storytelling, that you can be as clever as you damn well like, but if it's not clear, if it doesn't make somebody feel something, or it doesn't inform them, no, you missed.